First, let's give credit where it's due. Caitlin Clark is an absolute monster on the court, and we mean that in the best way. She's pulling off plays that make you think, wait, did I just see that? Her ability to drain three-pointers from the parking lot, drop dimes like a magician, and rack up triple doubles is insane. And the fans, oh, they're loving it. Her games are selling out faster than a concert for your favorite band. Courtside tickets, thousands of dollars. Her impact isn't just about stats, it's about vibes. Caitlin brings an energy that's electric. You can feel it through the screen, and that's rare. Beyond just her talent, Caitlin's game has a way of pulling people in. Her style, a mix of precision and flair, makes basketball look like an art form. She's not just playing to win, she's playing to inspire. And that's why people are so captivated by her. It's like she's putting on a show every time she steps on the court. She's the kind of player who makes you want to buy a ticket, tune in, and tell your friends about what you just witnessed. That's star power. But not everyone is thrilled. And that's where things get spicy.
This isn't just for Caitlin, but you asked me about Caitlin. If you're going to break a record, to me, if it's legitimate, you have to break that record in the same amount of time that that player set it.
Caitlin Clark's got her share of haters, and honestly, some of the criticism is so wild it's almost funny. Here are the main things people are grumbling about. 1, she's overrated. This is the go-to complaint. Critics say she's only hyped because she's flashy and gets media attention. But let's not kid ourselves. Caitlin's stats are no joke. She's breaking records left and right. If that's overrated, then sign me up for being overrated too. Let's break this down further. Critics often argue that Caitlin's dominance in college doesn't necessarily translate to professional basketball. They'll point out differences in competition level, suggesting she might struggle against seasoned WNBA players. But if that's the argument, let's consider this. Caitlin isn't just excelling, she's redefining what it means to dominate at her level. Her ability to adjust, grow, and perform under pressure is what sets her apart. When you're putting up stats that rival legends and you're still in your early 20s, that's not hype. That's reality. Consider her recent games. Her three-point shooting percentage, combined with her court vision, makes her an offensive powerhouse. It's not just about how many points she scores. It's how she scores them effortlessly, pulling defenders, setting up teammates, and turning defensive schemes into Swiss cheese. That's the hallmark of a generational talent. 2, she's too cocky. Some folks don't like how Caitlin celebrates her big plays. She'll hit a deep three and let you know about it. But hey, isn't confidence part of the game? When male players show swagger, it's called leadership. When Caitlin does it, it's suddenly a problem? Let's be real. The double standard is exhausting. Take a closer look at her celebrations. They're not just about showing off. They're about hyping her team and the crowd. Caitlin's energy is infectious. It's the kind of spark that can change the momentum of a game. If celebrating a three-pointer or hyping up the crowd is seen as cocky, then maybe we need more of it in sports. Confidence isn't a crime, it's a weapon, and Caitlin wields it like a pro. Beyond that, her so-called cockiness often mirrors her competitive drive. When Caitlin raises her hands to the crowd or flashes a knowing smirk after a clutch shot, she's not just boosting herself, she's giving her teammates the adrenaline rush they need. It's all part of the game, and it's glorious to watch. 3, she's not that great. This one's just plain wrong. Some former players and current pros have tried to downplay her achievements, saying she hasn't proven herself yet. Fun fact, Caitlin's already outperformed some WNBA legends in fewer games. What makes this criticism even more baffling is that Caitlin isn't just about scoring. Sure, her points per game are jaw-dropping, but she's also a playmaker. Her assists and ability to read the game are second to none. She's not a one-dimensional player. She's a complete package. Dismissing her as overhyped feels more like jealousy than valid critique. And it's worth noting that Caitlin has a knack for making everyone around her better. Teammates thrive when she's on the court because she's unselfish with the ball and always looking for the best play. That's leadership, plain and simple. Okay, let's zoom out for a second. The hate Caitlin gets isn't just about basketball. It's about something bigger, how we treat women who dare to be exceptional. Caitlin is pushing women's basketball into the mainstream. That kind of change makes some people uncomfortable. When you're used to things being one way, a disruptor like Caitlin can feel like a threat. Her influence extends beyond the court. She's bringing new fans to the game, many of whom might not have paid attention otherwise. That kind of reach is invaluable. It's not just about her stats, it's about the ripple effect she's creating. When one player can elevate an entire sport, that's a game changer. Think about the larger picture. Women's sports have been fighting for visibility and respect for decades. Caitlin's rise isn't just good for basketball, it's good for the movement as a whole. She's proving that women's games can draw massive crowds, sell out arenas, and spark debates just as heated as their male counterparts. Let's face it, society isn't always kind to women who own their greatness. Caitlin's confidence is seen as arrogance by some, but why? If a male player acted the same way, he'd be praised as a competitor. Double standards much? Think about it. How often do we see male players celebrated for their trash talk, celebrations, and bold statements? It's practically a requirement in the NBA. But when Caitlin does it, it's suddenly a character flaw. Let's call it what it is, a bias that needs to be addressed. Veteran players may feel overshadowed, and that's understandable. Caitlin's rise has been so meteoric that it's easy to see why some might feel left behind. But tearing her down doesn't help the game grow.
Talking about NBA where you played 10 years and I played 20 years. That's not the same. We can only play 4 years, right? If we there 5 years, goddamn it, we redshirted.
Instead of critiquing her, why not celebrate her success as a win for everyone? Caitlin's impact benefits the entire league. The attention she's bringing isn't just for her, it's for the sport as a whole. The WNBA is growing because of players like her, and that's something we should all be rooting for.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year and then there's another year, you know what I mean?
Here's the thing. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball. She's creating a movement, and it's one the WNBA desperately needed. Since Caitlin burst onto the scene, the league's popularity has skyrocketed in ways that were once thought impossible. Viewership is up, ticket sales are through the roof, and suddenly, women's basketball is a hot topic in sports media.
Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership.
She's not just captivating existing fans, she's pulling in a whole new audience. Little girls are watching her and thinking, that could be me. Parents are taking their kids to games, hoping to witness a piece of history in the making. She's showing the next generation that women's sports can have the same magic and excitement as any men's league. That's not just powerful, it's game-changing.
Everything y'all said does not matter for this particular...
Let's talk numbers. The WNBA saw a staggering 93% increase in ticket sales in 2024. That's not just growth, that's an explosion. Caitlin's games alone consistently draw thousands of fans, with some venues completely selling out. And these aren't one-off spikes. This is a trend that's reshaping the league's future. It's creating momentum that players, fans, and executives alike are thrilled to see. Her impact goes beyond the games. Merchandise sales have surged as well. Caitlin's jersey is flying off the shelves, becoming one of the top-selling items in women's sports history. She's not just a basketball player, she's a brand. When people wear her jersey, they're not just supporting an athlete, they're supporting a movement. Even the WNBA's marketing strategy has shifted to capitalize on Caitlin's rising star. Sponsors are lining up, seeing her as a perfect ambassador, not just for basketball, but for empowering women and girls everywhere. From television ads to social media campaigns, Caitlin's influence is driving awareness of the league like never before. The ripple effects are incredible. More fans mean more revenue, more exposure, and more opportunities for other players in the league. Caitlin's rise is elevating everyone around her. Teammates benefit from the increased attention, and rivals push themselves harder, knowing the spotlight is on them too. This isn't just about Caitlin. It's about the WNBA's growth as a whole. Her influence is also extending into youth basketball. Camps and clinics are seeing record attendance, with young athletes inspired to emulate Caitlin's fearless playing style. Coaches report a surge in girls joining teams, citing Caitlin as their inspiration. She's making basketball accessible and exciting in a way that resonates with the next generation. At the end of the day, Caitlin isn't just making waves, she's creating a tidal shift. The WNBA's future looks brighter than ever, thanks to her. She's proof that one player can make a monumental difference, not just for a team or a league, but for an entire sport. Honestly, some of it boils down to jealousy, plain and simple. Caitlin's success isn't just rewriting the narrative around women's basketball, it's making a lot of people uncomfortable. And let's face it, people don't always know how to handle someone who's breaking molds and setting the world on fire at the same time.
My record was hidden from everyone for 43 years. 43 years.
For some critics, it's easier to nitpick her personality or her game than to admit that she's revolutionizing the sport in ways we've rarely seen. There's a strange reluctance to celebrate her, even when the evidence is undeniable. Caitlin isn't just playing basketball, she's forcing us all to rethink what's possible for women in sports.
I think Angel will eventually be a good pro. I don't think Angel will come into the league immediately.
What's frustrating is that critics often miss the forest for the trees. Caitlin's rise isn't just about her individual talent, although that's more than enough to earn her praise. It's about what she represents. She's a symbol of women's basketball reaching untapped heights. Her success shines a spotlight on the immense potential the league has when given the chance to flourish. She's bringing in new fans, driving revenue, and creating a buzz that benefits everyone in the sport. The more people tune in, the more opportunities open up for other players, teams, and the league as a whole. Caitlin's rise isn't a threat to the game, it's a gift. Instead of tearing her down or trying to diminish her achievements, we should all be thanking her for elevating the sport to levels we've never seen before. Caitlin's just getting started. If she's already causing this much of a stir now, imagine what she'll do in a few years. The WNBA has a golden opportunity to embrace her star power and grow the league like never before. With every game she plays, Caitlin is not only making a name for herself, but also carving out a brighter future for women's basketball. To the haters, you're only making her more popular. Every critique, every dismissal only fuels the fire. Keep it up, she'll thank you later. To the fans, keep showing up, cheering loud, and supporting women's basketball. You're part of something incredible. The game is undeniably better because of players like Caitlin, and your support is helping to shape the league's legacy. Imagine the ripple effects of her career. Young players will grow up idolizing her, modeling their own games on her fearless style, and pushing the boundaries of their own potential. Picture this: a new generation of athletes inspired by Caitlin, not just on the court, but off it as leaders, as dreamers, as trailblazers. Sponsors will pour more money into women's sports, elevating the entire industry. The media, already drawn to her dynamic presence, will continue to shine an ever brighter spotlight on the WNBA. Caitlin isn't just a player, she's a catalyst for change, and her impact is setting the stage for a monumental shift in how women's sports are perceived and valued. Her journey will likely inspire not just future athletes, but also fans, advocates, and stakeholders who can further elevate the sport. Every step she takes is a leap forward for women's basketball, a step toward packed arenas, higher salaries, and widespread respect for the incredible talent in the league. Caitlin's story isn't just hers. It's part of a larger narrative that proves women's sports deserve every bit of the attention, investment, and celebration they're finally starting to get. The best part? This is only the beginning. Caitlin Clark is more than just a basketball player. She's a game changer, a disruptor, and a symbol of what happens when talent, confidence, and opportunity collide. Her rise has been nothing short of meteoric, and with it comes the kind of buzz that forces everyone to take notice. Sure, she's polarizing, but isn't that what all stars do? They make people feel something, whether it's awe, envy, or even discomfort.
What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing.
That's what makes her a force to be reckoned with. For those who love her, Caitlin embodies everything exciting about the future of basketball. She's fearless, unrelenting, and unapologetically herself. For those who criticize her, let's be real. It's hard to ignore someone who's breaking barriers and rewriting the narrative for women's sports. Love her or hate her, one thing is undeniable. Caitlin Clark is here to stay, and her impact will be felt for years to come. All right, that's it for today. Caitlin Clark is shaking things up, and whether you love her or not, you can't ignore the impact she's having on basketball and beyond. She's bringing energy, breaking records, and making everyone pay attention to women's sports in a whole new way. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe. By joining our community, you'll stay in the loop with more inspiring stories, exclusive athlete interviews, and all the latest WNBA updates. Let's keep the conversation going and celebrate incredible athletes like Caitlin Clark together. Now it's your turn. What do you think about Caitlin? Is she changing the game for the better? Or is there more to the story? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, keep celebrating the game, supporting the players, and loving basketball. See you next time.